Over there, a shrine to Selune.
There's magic at play here. A spell keeping this chest shut.
Moon Maiden's grace. It's open!
You should leave it. Or even destroy it, if possible.
These are offerings to Moon Maiden. I won't destroy them.
But you'll steal them. An interesting way to show your devotion. Do not trifle with that Moon Witch, or her trinkets. Only trouble will follow.
That's twice you've spoken ill of my goddess. Watch your mouth.
I almost pity her, if you're the quality of follower she attracts.
Why do you care so much?
I should have stayed quiet. You want the truth? Fine. I worship Shar, Mistress of the Night, Selune's twin and foe. Now that you have the truth, please don't make a big fuss about it.
You worship Shar? Blimey. She and my beloved Mistra are not exactly friends.
Fantastic! Monsters in our minds and around our campfire.
I'll decide to make a fuss or not. Hard to trust someone who's holding out on me.
Secrecy is everything for Shar's children. It is our code, our creed, our shield. I even keep secrets from myself. I had my memories suppressed, so that nothing I know could be used against the Dark Lady. Once I prove myself, my memories will be restored. I'm not sorry I kept this from you. Not one bit. Though, perhaps that might change, if you can show an open mind.
We can discuss this later. But let's just try a little more honesty going forward.
All we can do is try, I suppose. Selunite coming of age rites. Barbaric nonsense. Shar's blessings upon you.
So, you worship Shar, and I serve Selune. Dare I ask how you feel about that?
I had hoped you might be tactful enough to not pick at that particular scab. Seems I was mistaken. My lady and your Moon Witch are at war, so naturally we're enemies. But enemies with a common purpose, for now. As long as we have use for each other, I can bite my tongue and stay my blade. I don't see what more needs to be said on the matter.
Our goddesses are twins, part of a whole. We complement each other.
You're good company, I'll admit it. I'm sorry you're hindered by that supposed goddess. But whatever you and I think of each other means little. We stand in opposition. Our goddesses have determined it.
We have a chance to understand each other. Don't you at least want to try?
I suppose some would consider such diplomacy a virtue. Others might just see it as a lack of will. But I suppose there's no harm in learning about the opposition. Though I doubt there's much to learn. You Selunites are coddled, decadent, drunk on hope, fattened calves ready for sacrifice.
We are far from coddled. All children of Selune cherish self-reliance. From a young age, we need to fend for ourselves.
How so? Are you taught to churn your own butter while barely out of swaddling? Nothing Selune asks of you can compare to the tests that Lady Shar's children endure.
Not so. Our youngest are left to fend for themselves in the deepest wilds. They need to survive and navigate home using the Moon Maiden's guiding light.
What, you think frolicking in the woods by moonlight amounts to a test? That's nothing. That's just a childish thing. I don't want to hear any more of it. We've spoken enough of this. I cannot allow your misguided beliefs to poison my mind. Lady of Sorrows, guide us. Did you want something?
I want to talk about your Shar worship.
I'm sure you do. But please try to understand that it's not something I can just talk about freely.
You should trust me. We're in the same boat, after all.
Very well. Mistress of the Night and Lady of Loss. As you worship Selune, I assume you know of her twin?
I know Shar. She attracts those who've suffered pain, loss. I'm sorry she seduced you.
The night brings comfort. Through loss, we find acceptance. In the arms of the Dark Mother, we find peace.
There has to be something more that draws people to Shar.
Most fear the dark, like children, because in darkness they see their fears reflected. But Shar teaches us to step beyond fear, beyond loss. In darkness, we do not hide. We act. Pain, hope, the promise of better days. All of these are heavy cloaks that bend our backs and burden our hearts. We shed those cloaks. Before Shar, we stand gloriously naked, beyond the vanities of mortals.
How exactly do Shar worshippers turn people to their goddess?
We tear down the lies the world is drunk on, the institutions they trust, the so-called gods they worship, the lives they cling to. We destroy false idols, topple corrupt organizations, fight heretics wherever they're found. There's often suffering, death even. Many people break before they embrace Shar's truths.
I won't cast judgment on your beliefs.
Curious. Most are afraid of my lady. I think I did well by joining you. Most agreeable company.
I want to get to know you more, Shadowheart.
You already know my biggest secrets. What more can you ask?
Tell me something about yourself besides Shar, besides tadpoles.
What, besides my life's calling and the greatest problem I've ever faced? Well, I like night orchids and can't swim. Is that the sort of thing you meant?
That's exactly it. Anything else you'd care to share?
No, I can't. Quite literally, I mean. With my memories suppressed, I can't betray Shar's secrets. But I can't remember much of myself either. If I manage to return to Baldur's Gate and fulfill Shar's mission, then my memories will be restored.
You've had your memories suppressed? That seems extreme.
Of course. It is an act of faith, not to be undertaken lightly. Shar will reward me when I succeed.
What drew you to Shar worship?
She took me in when no one else would. Without her, I wouldn't be alive. She's my mother. She nurtures me, cares for me, loves me. There's less truth in the Moon Witch's teachings than you've been led to believe, Selunite.
Why were you in pain before?
The wound on my hand. It never quite heals. And sometimes it causes terrible pain to rip through me. It's my burden, though, from Lady Shar. I can feel her influence somehow.
What causes it to hurt you?
It's difficult to say. Sometimes I wonder if it's supposed to be guiding me, punishing me, testing me. But perhaps it's none of those. Perhaps it's completely random. I'd like to hope there's more to it than that. Some meaning that Lady Shar will reveal to me when the time is right. Until then, all I can do is endure.
Why would Shar subject you to such a thing?
I cannot say. Not with what I can recall. But even then, it would not be for me to question her will. Lady Shar has her reasons.
How can you manage living with such a thing?
It's less difficult than you might imagine, when you can't remember life without it. Pain is sacred to followers of Lady Shar. Pain will give way to loss and then to the peace of her eternal darkness. You can tolerate a great deal of suffering so long as it has meaning.
Is there anything I can do to help with it?
I don't think so, but you're sweet to ask. Maybe just be patient the next time you see me wince or cry out. It'll pass quickly enough. It always does.
How am I holding up in your estimations?
I don't think I've ever had a confidant quite like you. And if I have, I can't remember them.
So you knew more than you were letting on before. I hope you'll be more honest in future.
I'll try my best. But secrecy is ingrained in me. Lady Shar considers it greater protection than any shield or armor.
I'll think about it. And for now, let's just rest.
village is falling to pieces. These goblins aren't exactly house-proud as occupiers go.
Wouldn't blame the gobs. Place looks like it's been abandoned a good while. But hey, maybe we can scare up a few dusty bottles of wine somewheres.
I like your way of thinking. Split any takings we find?
Sister, you've got a deal.
There's something I want to talk to you about. Something important.
Well, now I'm intrigued. Do continue.
I could have died in that pod, back on the Nautiloid. You could have died, spending precious moments trying to free me, but you did it anyway. I owe you my life. I'm trying to say that you've earned my trust in a way very few ever have. I want that to mean something. I want you to know more about me, at least from what I can remember. As long as I've prayed to Lady Shar, I've wished to serve her as a dark justiciar. There is scarcely a greater way to fully dedicate yourself to Lady Shar, save perhaps if you become the head of her church. To become a dark justiciar is to become the Night Singer's sword arm, her implement with which she will cast down the unbelievers and win the final battle to restore her perfect, endless darkness. It's all I ever wanted. I prayed it was my calling. But Mother forbid me from seeking to prove myself worthy of the rank. She said I was not ready. Not my mother, I should add. The Mother Superior, head of Lady Shar's enclave in Baldur's Gate. Sometimes I wonder if she would ever deem me ready. I owe her everything, and I only wish to serve, yet she can prove inscrutable.
Do you think she'll ever relent and make you a dark justiciar?
I don't know. Perhaps if I succeed in my mission and reach Baldur's Gate. Hope has little place amongst Lady Shar's children. It's an illusion, a distraction. But for this, I hope my time will yet come.
I don't understand. Why be so secret about such an ambition?
Dark justiciars are hated by many, judged to be ruthless fanatics. Even the few who would accept a follower of Lady Shar would likely balk at a justiciar in their midst. But there's a simpler answer to your question. I simply forgot about the desire I had until I saw some things that reminded me. Now, I can't get it out of my mind.
Thank you for sharing.